What we're going to learn now is a great piece of music called Blues for Sam. It's a really interesting piece of the blues, and what it does is it's taken all the techniques we've learned throughout the course so far and crammed them into one piece of blues music. Now when you're playing the blues, or if you're playing a blues song or writing a blues song or playing in a blues band or playing a blues song on stage, you wouldn't necessarily play it like it's written here. What it's done here is, of course, it's only 36 bars long. It only goes through the 12-bar blues 3 times. So as effect, it's crammed everything into one. Now that's not how you'd play the blues on stage. If you were on stage, of course, you would naturally, on the verse parts, you would just play a standard sort of a verse-based blues. On the chorus, you might do something a bit more interesting. But it's only during your solo lead breaks or when you're playing solo guitar that you really want to try and cram these in. Or else you want to make some variations along the line so it doesn't get monotonous, not only for you to play, but also for the audience to listen to. But really, you don't want to go and play 36 bars, because once you've played those 36 bars, you're all used up. Suddenly you've got no more blues techniques left, and that's not what the audience wants, because they want to listen to you play for longer than 36 bars. They want to hear you play for quite a while. So if you use up all your best shots in the first 2 minutes, then you're going to have nothing left to play for the other 8. Okay, but anyway, let's learn Blues for Sam now. What I'm going to do is take you through it bar by bar, and then we'll play it through for you twice, once at normal speed and then once at a nice slow sedate speed, so you can have a look at what's going on. Let's go through Blues for Sam bar by bar here. Let's have a look at the first bar. The first bar is just a standard introduction or turnaround to the blues like we did in the beginner's course there. With the second and third fingers, we're going to come up and fret the 4th fret notes on the 1st string and the 3rd string, and with our picking, just pick down, up, down, and then back a fret to the 3rd fret, back a fret again, and then back a fret again. Back there like that, doing the 1st fret, 3rd string, and then the 2nd string and the 1st string open, and playing all 3. The last beat of the bar, of course, just has a little upstroke on the open first. That bar is nice and easy. Now the next bar, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a C7 chord, a B7 C7 chord. So if we take the B7 and just slide it up there, we've got up to a C7 chord. Now we've got an interesting little strum on this. We're going to strum down first across all the strings, and then an upstroke just on the treble, and then we're going to take our hand and slap it down. So we end up with a like that. And then back to the B7 chord. So it ends up like this. With the open strings at the end there, because we're in the middle of changing chords to the next bar there. One more time. So we'll put it all together now. The first 2 bars there, there's the turnaround or the introduction there. Ready for the 12-bar blues. So when we begin, the first part, the next bar, of course, is just the E chord, like we learned out of sessions 3 and 4, doing our standard blues-based shuffle there. So that's the next 4 bars. And then we're onto an A chord, and we're just going to do the 2-bar phrase on the A. Back to the E chord, which repeats again what the A just did just then. So nice and simple there so far. Now the next bar is a bar of B7. It's our bar of B7 out of the standard blues structure, standard there. So we're just going to do the B7 and then slide up to a C7. So we end up with a... So we've got 1 strum there on the C7. So. Very careful look at what's up and what's down. So down and up on the B7, down on the C7, and then down on the B7 again, and then up, down and up. The next bar, of course, is a bar of A7. What we're going to do is slide that back to come back again. Exactly the same strumming as the B7, C7. Down, up on the A7. When we move it back a fret to there, down, and down again. So those 2 bars. Nice and simple there. And then we repeat the turnaround again, just like the first 2 bars, exactly the same. For the next part of the 12-bar blues. So for the next time through, we're just going to go to the standard E chord and do the E shuffle for the next bar. The The next bar after that's going to do with our little pull-off lick. Just like we learned in session 5 there. The next bar, of course, is back to the standard shuffle again. And the next bar after that does the pull-off lick again with the hot fretting the chord. What it does do at the end is it goes, and whereas normally we'd go back to the 2nd fret note there, we're actually going to go up to the 5th fret note and pull that one off. So this lick's going to end up like a, like that. So those 4 bars up to the A chord now. So we're on the A7 chord, we're going to do the A7 standard shuffle. And then A7 using the pull-off lick. Then back to the E7 again, or E again, with the same thing, same shuffle. This time we're going to go for the next bar, it's going to involve a little bit of lead, just doing our hammer-on lick that we learned earlier in session 4. Then we're ready again, back to the B7 with the C7 in there. Exactly the same time as the first time through. Then the A7 going back. Then we're back to the turnaround part. We've got a little variation on this here, where instead of picking all 3 notes, it's doing it a lazy way, where it's only playing the 2nd finger onto the 4th fret and doing the 1st string open, and just doing the standard sort of a shuffle, the down up. We end up with a, which gives a nice different sound there. Just a little wee variation on the turnaround there. Just makes things a little bit more interesting again. If you're playing the 12-bar blues, of course, and you've got to play it through a dozen or 20 times, then you don't want to be doing the same turnaround every time. Now, turnaround's a dime a dozen. You can make up as many as you like, and there's hundreds of variations you can do. This is just one of them. It just makes it a bit easier. Like that. Then we're back to the C7, B7 again. Then we're back for our last time through the blues now. So this one's the interesting one. This one's where we've got the lead break in there. It involves a lot of the lead ideas we did in session 5 and session 4, but it also starts to develop some new ones here. So it's quite tricky for you to play, but it's really fun. So the first beat of the next bar on E is just a standard, just down on all 6, then up on the 1st string. And then we're going to start going across the 4th and 3rd strings doing a hammer-on lick. We've got 3 beats left in the bar, so we do it 3 times. Now the next bar is made up of 4 hammer-on licks. We're not doing it in the pentatonic scale though. This time we're hammering onto the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Open 3rd string first, hammer onto the 1st fret, and then upstroke on the open 2nd string. And that gives a real blues sound. The reason we can do that is because when we play the E chord, you can see the G sharp note there, which is the 1st fret of the 3rd string, is part of the E chord, and that's why we can hammer on there. And it just sounds slightly different than if we hammered onto the 2nd fret, so it's just a different variation again. Then we've got a big long lick that covers it covers 2 bars there, just descending triplets all the way. So what we've got, we start on the highest note of the pentatonic scale and go down 3 notes. Descend by 3 notes. Then we go to the next lowest note of the pentatonic scale, which is the open E, and we descend 3 notes from there. Then the next note, the D, and descend 3 notes from there. Then the open B, and descend 3 notes from there. Then the A, and descend 3 notes from there. Then the G, and descend 3 notes from there. Then the E, and we descend 3 notes from there. And then the open D, and we descend 3 notes from there. And that's our big long lick. So it's a big long lick. Done fast, that's really effective. Very tricky to play. The most important part about playing it is getting the alternate strokes all the way. Always down, up, all the way, starting on a downstroke. And then you're picking or working perfectly. Good as gold there. Now the next bar, of course, we're up to the A now, so we're going to do the standard A. And then after that we've got a tricky little hammer-on pull-off lick here. The first half of it goes 12 one of our standard hammer-ons there. Open 3rd string, hammer onto the 2nd fret, upstroke on the open 2nd string. Then the second half of the lick, you play the 3rd fret 2nd string note, pull it off to the open, and then on the upstroke do the 2nd fret 3rd string note. So you end up with a... And that does it twice there for 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from there we do our standard lick that we learnt back in session 5 with the slide in it. Like that there, nice and easy. Then we do another lick, just a variation on that. We're going to slide from here to here. So we've got 2 licks in a row there with slides in there. Not so difficult to do there. And then from there we're just going to go on to a B chord. Instead of doing the B7 this time, we're going to pick through an arpeggio on it. So we're in position here. We're going to play the 2nd fret 5th string note. Then we're going to go to the 1st fret of the 4th string. Then the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Then the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then back to the 1st fret of the 3rd string. Then back to the 4th fret of the 4th string. Then back to the 1st fret of the 4th string. So that's going to go. Then on the A chord, we're going to do the open 5th string first, then the 4th fret on the 5th string, then the 2nd fret on the 4th string, then the 4th fret on the 4th string, then the 5th fret on the 4th string, then the 4th fret on the 4th string, and then the 2nd fret on the 4th string, and the last note's going to be an open 4th string, so it's going to go. So those 2 bars work really, really well together. Instead of playing the B7 and the A7 chord, what we want is a lead-based variation, and this is the best one we can do at the moment. One more time. Then we've got a nice little run just on an open 6th string twice, 4th fret 6th string twice, open 5th string twice, 1st fret 5th string twice, and then our standard straight at the turnaround, and then finish. So a nice long piece to play there. A nice lead break at the end. The first 2 times through we're exploring all our rhythm techniques there, and then the 3rd time through we're getting really into some lead there with some real... I'm going to play the song Blues for Sam for you now. I'll play it through twice. The first time I'll play it through very, very slowly so you can understand exactly what's going on and whereabouts it's happening and when it's happening by following along with your music there. The second time I'll play it at a little bit of a quicker pace where it's a bit more exciting and a lot more's going on. It just really lifts the music up there. So the first time now, very, very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to play Blues for Sam for you with the fast version. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blues for Sam, the fast version. A very nice piece of music, the Blues for Sam. Well worth your effort to get it really right.